So this is our first podcast, and this is a history of Andrews Construction. I'm Aaron Andrews. This is my dad, Ron Andrews. This is Blair Poole, Vice President.
You're Vice President.
Oh, my Vice
I'm
President?
CFO. He's President. But we all do all the things.
I'm President.
You're still President. We haven't changed that. I'm
So-
also your sister. There's that.
Can I get two checks a week?
You can do whatever you
$10
want, Dad.
here,
Boss.
another $10 there.
So let's get into it. I wanted to start out at the beginning, the way beginning. I know it was early 80s. You're commercially fishing. You're running a hardware store. I'm just a little kid at the house. The hardware store, I'm sure that was kind of where you got a lot of relationships with people around here from that. One of the most important ones for our company was Ricky. How'd you meet him?
I originally met him in the hardware store, and we hit it off pretty good together from just talking. He loves sports. He'd do anything, go fishing or hunting, even leave somebody so he can go.
Yeah.
But he was never married. He was real bad diabetic, and but he was a great guy. Couldn't work much, but he had this little motor grader and a loader, and he'd do driveways. We had a couple guys that worked for him. He didn't have to do a whole lot of physical work at all. He just had to guide the situation.
He just lined the work up. And
Yeah, he'd line the work up, and he'd go over there and stay with him. He'd drive the paving machine and things like that. Physically, he couldn't shovel much at all. We became good friends, and when I was involved in the hardware store, it was a good thing for a long time for me. But things happen, and
well, I think you said you kind of get to a level you can't get any higher, and so you're kind of there.
they made me a partner in the hardware store. I didn't have to pay nothing. And then at one time, we had 3 hardware stores and 1 in Valdosta.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
So then, how does that turn into? I'm gonna get into construction. Like, how do you make this move?
I became a salesman for Genuine Hardware
I remember that.
out of Jacksonville, and Orlando was my territory. So I did that for probably a year or 2 at the most. And Ricky and I'd go fishing on the weekends and stuff. And I talked to him. I said, "Hey, Ricky, can't we get something going together?" He said, "Well, what do you want?" I said, "I'd like to stay home and work with you, in Gainesville."
Yeah, because you were traveling. You were gone.
traveling.
I remember you were gone like all during the week.
Yep. I was
You'd come
gone.
home for the weekend.
Yep. So trouble is, really got to liking him. Of course, I did the work. I learned how to drive a dump truck. I got my licenses for sewer and water, and we expanded. He couldn't expand because he couldn't handle the situation. But I said, "Ricky, we got a important call coming in this morning from a guy that we might be able to build 2 of the little Champ food stores and stuff." And he said, "Okay, I'll be around the phone." One of his other buddies come by, and he went fishing with him.
That's Ricky. That's Ricky.
But he was a great guy. He was very good to me. His diabetes worked on him real bad, and he lost a toe and a foot. And after, I think we were about 3 years into it, and he passed away. So, I paid his mom and dad for his half of the company. and just moved on and was blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that Dan Whitehurst was very influential in your life, and you know,
Yeah, well, Dan was one of the largest construction road builders in our area. And he was building 53rd Avenue all the way through. It was just clay road back then. And they built, they were building the road, and he saw me out there on the highway that crosses there. And he said, I was trying to lay some pipe, 24-inch concrete pipe. Of course, you can't pick it up. So I had a loader out there. I didn't have a backhoe, nothing. And every time I'd try to put that pipe into the edge of the water, which was improper to do, and he come over there and kind of laughed at me. He knew me a little bit because I'd eat lunch with him a few times.
yeah. So the story I heard is that he would go. We'd all go. You'd take me as a little kid at the farmers market, right there off of 13th Street and 6th, where it splits right there. There's a we built it. It's the 84 lumber store. Well, that used to be the farmers market, and or not the farmers market. I'm sorry, the livestock
Market,
auction.
yeah.
Okay.
And it had a restaurant there, and then it was good. And I think it was like Thursdays or something. Everybody would
Every
go
Monday.
there. It was at Mondays.
Every month.
Yeah, so we'd go there, and it'd be everybody, like all your friends, everybody. They'd all be there eating. And I thought that Dan would eat there, and you saw him there first, or somebody said, "Hey, that's Dan Whitehurst over there." Am I
Kind of, yeah.
right on that? Or maybe Ricky knew who he was, or
Oh, yeah, Ricky, we bought asphalt from him.
yeah, right.
So, but I was out there trying to lay that pipe, and he was doing the road, and he come down there to the end of the road checking things out from his guys, and he looks over there at me, and I know he said, yeah, that guy's got to be stupid. So he came over there and said, "Hey, Ron, what you doing?" You know what you're doing? I said, "It's pretty obvious, isn't it?" I don't. She says, "I tell you what, I'll send Monty over here and another guy tomorrow. Now I want you to go get me this stuff." So I got 4x4 posts, put them in the ground where I was going to lay the pipe. We cleaned it up. He said, "Now you need some gravel to put underneath this pipe because of the water situation." I said, "Okay, I don't know where to get some, but I'll get some." The railroad track was across the road. We went over and stole rock off the railroad track. But they had already pulled the tracks up. They'd already pulled the tracks up. So we went over there and got a few loader buckets of rock and put in there. You'd be surprised how that worked.
I bet.
And then Willie, while we was over there trying to clear the lot, Ricky and I looked at the lot. We didn't go out there and walk around the lot. Well, there's tree stumps everywhere where they cut the pine trees off, and it was wet too. And so we weren't walking out there. We could just do that. So Willie made a deal with Whitehurst guy that was working on the road that was taking stumps out in their right of way
On 53rd.
on 53rd. And so Willie and the other guy made a deal. He'd come pull our stumps out if we would burn all of his. Deal. We couldn't pull them out. Didn't have nothing to pull them out with.
And they had made the deal themselves. Like you guys didn't.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know
You
it.
guys didn't even know.
And then Dan's son called up and said, "What the heck's going on out here?" I said, "What are you talking about?" "My guy's working on your lot." I said, "I didn't know that. I don't know." So of course I'm headed that way. got out there, and about that time, Dan showed up. I said, "Oh man." So Dan says, "Well, I talked to my man. He said Willie and he made a trade off that you'd burn my stumps, and he'd pull the stumps out for you on your property for the store." So that worked out good for both of us, really. We burned for 3 days, day and night, man that fire, 24 hours a day.
I might add with an airboat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ricky had a little airboat, so he got the airboat and brought it out there and cranked it up and blew a fire and got it really hot. It sure speeded
Talk
up the
about
process.
rednecks.
That's right.
It worked out real well.
Yeah. So is that your first commercial work that you started doing? Was that store?
No.
So you'd done some stuff before
we've
that.
done some driveways and
Well, I mean
little
commercially, like
parking lot. We've done some of that, repaved stuff. It was nothing but good hard work.
mm-hmm.
Crazy enough, I liked it.
Yeah. I know.
I should have waited on giving it to my kids. I just stayed there.
Got to have something to
But
do.
you know,
right?
if you love them, you got to do something for them.
I was curious too, because I'd heard a story about how you got your first paycheck doing this work. And
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember the story. Do you?
I think so. You want to tell it?
No, you were there. You tell me.
Well, we had been working pretty hard for about 3 weeks, maybe 4, but I think it was 3. And I hadn't ever got a dime. And I got you and your sister and your mama to feed and a house payment. And so I went to Ricky and I said, "Ricky, he doesn't need any money because he lives at home. Whatever he got is his, you know." And I said, we got to work out something on some money, you know. I got a family to feed, and that was no problem. Worked together on it.
You just went in there and wrote a check.
I never wrote a check when he was there. That's his job. I didn't want to do it, but we became, after a while, moving around town, very busy. And when Ricky passed away, I just changed the name to Andrews Paving.
Because it was Robinson Paving
Yes.
before, and then it turned into Robinson Andrews Paving, right? And then after he passed away, then it turned into Andrews Paving. And so, and some more history to that. Ricky is the nephew, right, of
Buck Johnson.
Buck Johnson. So, how does that work? Ricky's dad,
Ricky's mom.
Ricky's mom.
Well, yeah, because Ricky's mom was Buck Johnson's wife's sister,
And they were neighbors.
right next door.
Right. And so if you really go back to history, we kind of came from Buck Johnson. Because here's a way, and tell me if I'm wrong. So Ricky gets into this. He's a young guy, loves to hunt and fish. You know, just that's what he's passionate about. But here's I'm maybe adding to this, but you've got a company, Buck Johnson, and they're doing commercial work, big work, and then they come by these driveways and things like that, and they're like, man, well, Ricky can do it. Is that kind of how he got into it?
Kind of. But Ricky'd have to go price it.
Right. They would just give it to him and say, hey, here's
a job.
Here's
that
a job.
you could probably get.
And so that's so I guess if you were to really go down the company family tree, I guess you'd
I
say
didn't know that.
it came from Buck Johnson.
Yeah. I remember going to his house and he always doted on us. And I just remember him always laughing. Everything was funny. And then he had a niece or somebody named Sarah. She was close to my age. And I remember playing in the backyard with her.
But you've had so many friendships through the years that have been so important and just such good people in the community.
Yeah.
Scott Robinson of Robinson Renovation and Custom Homes. You guys shared an office when you first started out.
His dad and I shared an office.
Okay.
And Scott was in high school.
That's Elwin.
Yeah, Elvin Robinson. He was a good influence in my life.
He was a good man.
Yeah, he was.
Really was. Because you guys, your first office was off of 13th Street, right?
Yeah, it was maybe 20 by 20.
Was that?
behind the real estate, behind Elwin's?
Yeah,
It was
real
a
estate
shed,
office.
wasn't it?
No,
Was
no,
it a
it-
shed?
it was a-
tiny.
Yeah, it was.
They remodeled it. It was like a small office, and they both shared it. And there was a secretary. And I just heard this recently that I didn't realize it was a morgue. Before they went in there, and this is what it was.
We didn't know it.
I just found this out like a week ago. so that's your first office, and then I remember you had a shop. And it may not have been the office, but it was off of 441 out there, kind of around where Preferred Materials has their asphalt plant. You kept your equipment out there. That's what it was. You kept your equipment out there, but your office was on 13th Street at the morgue. And then you moved offices to right next door to your old hardware store,
Right
across the street from the YMCA.
on the same side of the street.
Well, YMCA was right across the street
YMCA across.
from the, and I think now it's maybe the barber shop now.
I don't know.
It's been a
It's
barber shop
between
for a
that
while.
plaza and
That was Elwin's office, and we were growing, and Elwin says, "I don't need that big office anymore. You need it more than I do." And he moved up front, worked out of there. That was amazing.
These are lifelong friends. You're
Certainly were.
still friends, very very close with Scott today.
Yeah,
well, you've always been really good about fostering your relationships. Your friends know they're important, and it's interesting. They're all, well, I'm Ron's best friend. I'm Ron's best friend. Wait a minute, how many best friends do you have?
Yeah, he's
You're really good about
pretty popular.
that.
So I do remember, and I thought it was the biggest job that you guys had done. It was the Residency Inn.
that was my first big job.
That was the first big job.
Yeah, I did a lot of other stuff, 7-Elevens and all kind of stuff like that. But that Residency Inn, they were having all kind of problems. They built a swimming pool. They didn't put water in it. This big storm come and it floated overnight.
That's
It's
not
about
good.
3 foot out of the ground, so they had to tear it out and redo it. They couldn't get the sewer and water guy to do what he was supposed to properly, and so the superintendent came to me and says, "Hey, can you do my sewer and water?" I said, "I believe so, but let me check on something though with the city first." And David Higdon was a friend of mine because he looked at other stuff on other jobs.
And he was what
He was the sewer and water inspector
for the city of Gainesville?
for City of Gainesville. There's two of them, and he was one. And he was the big dog, and we become friends on that job because he was looking at other things. And so I called him up, said, "David, we're out here at Residency Inn, and they want me to put the sewer and water in. Can I do that?" I'm talking about legally.
Right. Yeah.
I knew I could do it. So David said, "Well, you could do that." I said, "Well, okay." So I said, "Well, when you're off, can you help me a little bit?" He says, "I can't." He says, "But I've been real slow lately, and I can spend probably pretty good bit of time some days out there and telling you what to do." And he did. And a couple years later, he retired, and then he came to work with me, and he educated me a lot. And
Yeah, me too.
Been very fortunate.
Yeah, that's another good man.
Good people.
Really is.
I don't know where they come from, but I was blessed.
Yeah, he used to come pick me up from school. he,
He
was
loved us. That
he
was
was
sweet.
he run the show. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, after he passed away, he had a massive heart attack in his garden. He was cleaning up his tools, and then and that was it. It was
He
so
sat
fast.
down. He sat down on his little lean back chair, and had a heart attack.
Yeah,
And it was hot.
I can remember coming into the office, you know, that Monday after or whatever, and just walking in his office, and everything is just like it always was before, you know, just the way he left it. And it was just like, gosh,
That was hard.
wow, he's just gone. And then I start reflecting, and I'm thinking about what all he did. And it's incredible, what he did, like the workload that the company had grown so much in that period of time that he was there. And he did all kinds of stuff. I mean, he ran the trucks, the crews. I mean, he just had so many different hats.
That was his job.
He estimated. He just did so much. It's incredible what he did. You know, you look back, because now, you know, of course, it's grown into something so much more that we have people to do each.
One of those times.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, and he was doing all of this stuff. So, yeah, it was very fortunate to have him. I loved him as a, you know, as a
kid.
yeah, he was a good guy.
Yeah, looking back, I mean, I have a little bit different perspective because I was younger and I wasn't working out with you guys at that time. But what I remember about him is that he just seemed to have time for us. If I came into the office or was around him, he always made me feel important. And so, like you, when Mom couldn't get us from school or I was sick, I would have to hang out in Dad's truck all day. And a lot of times he would be there too. And so I would just kind of curl up on his belly and take naps. And he just was so sweet. So that was hard.
He was smart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good person.
and didn't he build manholes when he was younger in the city of Gainesville?
When he was going to help me, you know, tell me what I could do and all that at that Residency Inn, he was building manholes for Elwin Robinson, Scott's daddy,
Oh,
where my hardware store was.
the
He built them when I was still there when he built
which hardware store?
the one in 34th Street.
Oh, really?
Those manholes are about 12 foot deep.
And he built those.
He built them with bricks and mud.
Were we
Mine-
crawling through those manholes as
Mine
kids?
fell.
No, that's sewer,
No.
Blair. That's sewer. For the record, we were not crawling around in sewer water as kids.
Storm.
We were starting
Opened up in the back of
we
our
were all
house.
over the storm. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
storm drains. That was.
Roach Alley, all the things.
Yeah, we tore out a manhole the other day on a job site, and it was one of those old brick ones. We couldn't crush it. We pulled the whole manhole out as one piece. I swear they're stronger than a precast manhole that you get today. And it was when I thought about David when we pulled it out. I was like, man.
David built that one.
I was like, David probably built this. So in all of this, so you're growing. You know, we're doing a lot of commercial work, and of course you're making friends with Larry Watson, people like Larry Rogers that ran the Lime Rock
Limestone
mine.
products.
Y'all got together frequently and went hunting together, and y'all did a lot
Yeah.
together.
I was the only one that Dan Whitehurst outside the family would invite me to his birthday. Nobody else.
Yeah.
All family and me.
Yeah, I remember you and Mom going to his place on the Rainbow River, right?
Yeah,
His
the
river.
water's cold.
Y'all would go, and he had I'm going off I wasn't invited. But I hear he had a pontoon boat, and y'all would
Oh, yeah, we run up and down the river.
go ride around. And
Yeah.
all.
First thing he'd do is jump in that water and swim across and back. And I'm thinking, man, I hate cold water.
Would you do it?
I did it.
Peer pressure.
Your mama waited a little bit.
Caved.
but it's good. Good life.
Yeah, yeah. And company's still growing strong. I mean, now, I mean, it's continued with great people. I'm more.
And can use more.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'm so excited about the team that we have now. It's really taken on a life of its own.
Yeah. They
And
seem vested.
yeah,
You know.
it's they're good people. They're our people we have now are just solid individuals that care about what they do and are amazing at what they do.
Well, I think one thing that we've tried to do once there was a shift in ownership is it's really hard to capture what you've done and the integrity that you've, held throughout all the years. And so we want to make sure that we capture that and everybody in the company knows about it and the integrity that is expected.
Yeah, it's important
And
to
so-
carry those values.
Yeah, so we had to write it out so everybody knew. And so we're an honest team committed to quality work. So if, we're honest, we're a team, we're committed, and we provide quality work. And I think that's really actually done something for our team because we hire on it, we fire on it,
Evaluate.
we evaluate on that. And so that's what we expect. It's what we require. And it's crazy.
I like working there.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's
Because
a good place.
everybody, I love being around them. It's fun. It's actually fun coming to work.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. I mean,
It's hard.
it is. It's hard. It's challenging. Every day is something different thrown at you, but it's fun. And it's you never feel alone. You always have a team behind you that's pushing you in the same. Everybody's going in the same direction. So
It's part of that team and being committed.
yeah.
For
So
sure.
I'm proud of what Dad has built through the years, starting out from the hardware store. Heck, you're still hunting and fishing today. That'll never stop, will it?
Yeah, when I die.
Gosh.
You're never gonna die,
Ain't
Dad.
gonna
Yeah, no.
soon, I
You're-
hope.
And you're still there. I mean, you're still involved. You go to
Yeah,
the meetings
yeah.
on our production meetings and
I'm still pretty healthy.
Sam's runs and
He works out of the pit. There's all kinds of stuff to do out there. So yeah,
I think what is really good is that Aaron and I'm sure you felt alone a lot. I know you had good people around you, but you were the sole owner. And now it's the three of us, and then Aaron and I can bounce ideas off of each other. It's not a lonely place to be. And then we also have the ability to ask you for advice and a lot of things we've been through, you've been through, and you have solid advice. And so it's really nice to be able to continue on and be able to ask you, gosh, Dad, you must have felt so lonely. How'd you do this?
Good friends.
I know. That's what I was going to say. And it's the team that you had around you. It's that you fostered those friendships and those relationships. And, if we could only be like that, it's impressive.
I like where we work.
Yeah.
I think we need an Andrews Paving offshore boat, though.
We
Anybody
changed
out
our
there?
name, though, to Andrews Construction.
Oh, yeah,
Get
Andrews
it
Construction.
right,
Yeah.
Aaron.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's been a long road. It's been a long road.
Yeah, and you're getting old.
Getting old. That's right. That's right.
So you get that boat and I'll take care of it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep it full of fuel.
Yeah.
What would you like to see for the future of Andrews Construction? I mean, what?
I don't want it to go away.
Yeah. We don't either.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got to keep up with the times. Do the right stuff.
learning it's harder to keep up with the times the older you get. You know, so it's really nice to have some younger people around. And
Well, the technology, you know, now everything's digital. You know,
GPS,
Yeah, that's why y'all need to throw me out.
models, and yeah.
oh, the technology is insane, and it's just growing by leaps and bounds, and you have to be ahead of it. You just have to stay ahead of it, and that's probably one of the more difficult things too, is to be able to keep up with the technology and financially, because this stuff is extremely expensive to run all this equipment,
Well, and you have to have somebody that knows how to do it too.
and you have to have the staff that can run it. So it's turned into a pretty high tech job, and the tolerances are just getting tighter and tighter. The regulations are just
Inspections and government.
it's a tough business in the commercial world.
Well,
It
and
really
what's
is.
crazy, I don't know if we're crazy or not. Sounds like it, but when we bid our jobs and the cheapest one wins, what are we thinking?
Yeah, we're crazy.
Why are we here?
We're nuts. We're nuts. But I tell you, it's great when you. I had an inspector tell me yesterday that he said, when you guys are on the job, if you guys are doing the job, we know it's going to be done right. We don't worry.
That's nice.
And I just you know, that's probably one of the best compliments you can get. You know, just your reputation carries you, and as long as you keep it up. You know, there you can't let loose.
Yeah.
You have to keep
You
that
can't drop
reputation.
it one time.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. You can't let it go.
Well, and it's interesting to drive around town, and if Dad's sitting with you, he'll tell you stories about the job sites that he was on, and you can literally go to one of our job sites and go, "Oh, well, we were here years ago. We installed this. We installed
everywhere.
that. Oh, and over there,
I don't think you can go 2 blocks in Gainesville and not.
have touched it."
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this whole
Literally,
town
yeah.
it's changed so much since the days of Ricky. You know,
But he was a blessing.
Oh, sure. There were a lot of people in the company that were a blessing. I mean, John, he did a lot. John Anderson.
he did. He was just a hard worker. Just a hard worker. Still is a hard worker.
Yeah.
And I think of people like Timmy Renfro that were just always there, always.
Florida Concrete Recycling. Wasn't he a mechanic?
He used to be a mechanic for Blunt Pontiac, a diesel mechanic for trucks.
And he's probably the best mechanic I've ever met.
I have never seen a better one.
He's incredible. He's
smart.
Super smart. But I just remember him in the days, you know, they had was it a landfill that they had, or
they lived on a landfill.
yeah, and his dad would rebuild our equipment back in the day, right? Or no, he did, and,
Timmy
and
did
his
it
dad
at
lived there.
his house.
That's right. That's right. So if you had a rebuild or something on a loader or something like that, you take it there, and he would work on it. And then he also had the demo business and all. So
And you and Timmy are buddies.
yeah,
It's one of those best friends again.
to this day. You know, Timmy, you know, and I feel it's funny riding on the coattails of Dad, because I certainly don't have that charm that my dad has. I'm more rough, I guess. I don't, but I get to enjoy these friendships that Dad has with these guys. I can just ride on his coattails, and I feel like honored that I call these people my friends too. You know, it's a club that's just.
And they are.
I don't know that that's
upper level.
completely true about you, but
Well, I'm
you've had friends for years and years and years. You're also good at fostering those relationships.
I do value the friendships that I have, and I have friends from, you know, I'm still friends with my high school buddies. You know, to this day, they're like brothers to me.
They'll show up.
That's right. But I don't have that. I don't know what it is.
That's pretty jolly.
Dad is just always just. Everybody loves him. And Dad was rough on me. He was rough on me, and I'm thinking,
Not
what?
enough.
What is it? Why?
Like, what are they seeing? I don't get it. But everybody loved him. Oh, your dad. Tell him hey for me. You know, I'm like, all right.
I think Dad was just working so hard when we were kids. I don't remember him being home a lot. I mean, you got to go hunting with him. I mean, you were good about taking me fishing and everything, but you were working. You were working your tail off. And so, you know.
I think about that now that I'm a dad, how good of a father he was. I don't spend the time with my son that Dad spent with me. You know, I think back, I'm like, man, Dad was always working, da 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 da. But I think to myself, I was raised fishing in an airboat at just a young age. I was raised with a rifle in my hand, deer hunting as a kid my whole life. I've got all these stories going to Georgia and hunting and going fishing and all of these things. I've fished with Ricky, all of this stuff. And I'm like, when I think back, I'm like, wow.
Wasn't there a story about was it a Snickers bar and a worm?
No, it was a worm. It was a worm. So
worm or a real
Ricky
worm?
took me fishing because he was always wanting to take me fishing, but I don't think Mom would ever let me go with him because he
could pass out.
He could pass out or whatever. Because you've got some stories of rescuing him, and that's a story for another time. But it's crazy. But yeah, he took me fishing on Noonan's Lake, and I was a little kid, and of course he took out a Snickers bar because his blood sugar level was low, and he had to get it back up. But I didn't have a Snickers bar, and I was sitting there and I'm watching him eat this Snickers bar, and I got a rubber worm in my hand, from fishing, and I'm just sitting there and it's kind of, like this. Next thing I know, I look up and the worm's gone. I nibbled it down. I ate that rubber worm. And I remember being so sick. Oh my gosh, oily. Oh God.
Fish oil, that
Must
fake
have been
fish
good to eat, though.
Oh gosh.
And I can remember you and Mom were going out to dinner that night. So when I got back, Deltsy, remember Deltsy?
Oh yeah, she was fun.
She was there that night, and I was just so sick. I was just like miserable. But no, Ricky, that's right. He would pass out. Didn't you say there was a story where the back then it was three-wheelers, Honda three-wheelers, and Ricky was laid back, passed out, his feet were locked into the foot pedals, and the motor's running, just idling.
Oh God.
He's passed out.
Mm-hmm.
Or the time he was in a hunting stand.
You over there and get him tablespoons of sugar to eat.
Yeah.
That diabetes is bad stuff.
He was in a hunting stand, passed out.
Good Lord. Was he tethered? Did they do that back then? No safety?
We didn't do
Three-wheelers?
safety back then. What are you talking about? It was back in the 80s when you could live.
Car seats floated around in the back of the car. Seat
What
belts?
car seat? What are
Who
you
needs
talking
a
about?
seatbelt? 8 tracks.
Good times.